Good afternoon. I'm Chief Sue Loeffler. I am the Acting Director for DeKalb County Emergency Management Agency. This afternoon, I'd like to talk about the incoming weather. DeKalb County has declared a local state of emergency due to the winter storm warning that is coming in overnight. We expect freezing rain to start about 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning and then continue throughout the day. We're expecting up to approximately 3/4 of an inch to an inch of ice, and then after that the precipitation will then turn to snow, and we expect another 1 to 2 inches of snow on top of that ice. So what we really want to talk about today is our citizen emergency. I want everybody to please stay home. We are prepared at this time because of the winds that are coming. We're probably going to have a lot of trees that are down. 15 to 20 mile an hour wind plus ice is going to bring down power lines and cause some pretty severe damage throughout the county. So our crews are going to be out trying to remove those trees. Georgia Power's coming to restore the power as quickly as they can. But we want everybody to be prepared to stay home and to be able to take care of themselves all the way up through Thursday afternoon. We don't expect the temperatures to rise above freezing until I would expect about noon on Thursday. Dr. Alexander, you have something?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Just to reinforce a little bit of what you've heard from Chief Loeffler, I think it's important for all of us to keep in mind over the next 48 hours, particularly moving into tonight and all day tomorrow, is to try to stay and contain yourselves within your homes. Do whatever you need to do in terms of securing whatever items that you need to secure now. Make sure that you power up your cell phones as well too, because there could be some loss of power as a result of the icing of power lines across the county and across the region as well too. So we just want everyone to be very mindful. The more cars we have off the roadway starting tonight, that's better it's going to be for any of us, particularly if we have to dispatch emergency personnel or vehicles to assist anywhere around the region. So we're just asking certainly all of our DeKalb County residents to stay alert, stay tuned to your local channels, stations, and social media as much and closely as you can to follow all local media and news reports as they come from the National Weather Service and from the local weather as well too. This is going to be an event that could be of a pretty huge proportion considering the things that we suspect right now and predict are going to happen. I also want to encourage for anyone out there that have animals, please bring those animals inside as well too. And you might want to leave a faucet dripping throughout the night as well too, so that your pipes don't freeze up. So these are some very small things, but yet very, very important things that we all need to be very, very mindful of and cautious of as we move into the night. It's going to be a long night and it's going to be a long day tomorrow. We certainly are looking at some pretty challenging weather that we're going to be confronted with that may be very different for this region. But we're going to get through this, and I encourage everyone to support your neighbors and friends. Make sure you establish contact with family and friends as well too, should power go out. That is incredibly important. And we're here 24 hours to provide whatever help that you need during this process as well too. And I think you can also need to pay attention to Twitter, because we are up on Twitter, NEMA_GA, all caps. So please be mindful, stay in contact with family, charge up those phones, get those animals inside, and leave those faucets dripping. And anything else that you can think of, let's make sure that we do all that we need to do to stay safe within this period. This is going to be a pretty big storm, and it certainly could have some tremendous after effects that we all need to be aware of here in the county. Any questions real quick?
I'd like to give you both an opportunity, if you would. We've already heard, some folks saying, oh, it doesn't seem that bad. Oh, it's just a little rain. Oh, the roads are, maybe you've heard, maybe not, but just, it doesn't mean you can get comfortable now just based on what it looks like right now. right?
Well, that is very true. Let's go back 2 weeks ago, and we certainly all had an experience that none of us want to relive again. And I think we have to be mindful of the fact what we may be looking at late into the night and into tomorrow could be a much more stronger storm than what we experienced 2 weeks ago. Some of the advantage that we have here is the fact that many people are already home, schools are out, people have been let off work, and so hopefully we won't have as many vehicles out on the roadway. But this is something that we cannot take lightly, because what's very different here as well too, we're looking at power lines potentially being out. So there could be some loss of power. So we need to make whatever preparations, be prepared for that as well too, to make sure that we take care of ourselves and take care of our neighbors as well. Anything else?
You mentioned social media. I think that's interesting. What does that allow that we couldn't have had, years ago?
Well, social media is great in the sense that you can go up on Facebook, you can Twitter, you can do a whole host of things that is constantly going to be updated to provide us with information as it comes along through the National Weather Service and also through local weather programming as well too. So that's a huge advantage for us to be able to connect to the community through social media, but we have to utilize it. And also we're going to have sign language available as well too as we go throughout, as you see here to my right on your screen, to help those who are challenged. And we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we reach every part of this community and beyond to help keep people safe in this county.
What was done today to prepare?
Everything. And we've done a number of things. This preparation went into play actually not as of today, but actually several days ago when we first start hearing about this storm. And if you go back 2 weeks ago, even prior to that, what we make an attempt to do here in the county, and certainly with the support and our CEO, Lee May, certainly being in tune with all of this and providing all the support that we need in order to carry this mission out. But what is important here to remember as well too, regardless of how prepared we are, there is still a piece that the community has to do as well too. And I'm going to encourage here again very strongly, stay in and don't travel unless it's a real emergency. But we prefer you stay off the roadways. It's going to be really slippery and dangerous and unpredictable out there tomorrow. And we need to keep those roadways clear for emergency vehicles that we're quite sure that are going to have their share of work to do over the next couple of days.
Director Loeffler, could you kind of run through, springing from what Dr. Alexander was saying, what you'll be doing in the next 12 hours, kind of take us through an hour-by-hour timeline of what you're expecting and what you're going to be looking for that you might have to respond to in the next 12 to 18 hours.
Okay, in the next 12 to 18 hours, we are planning up until we actually start to see the event. We have National Weather Service calls, which are giving us updates 2 and 3 times a day so that we know what's coming. To give you an example, the initial forecast was maybe up to 1/4 of an inch of ice. That has now gone up to almost a full inch of ice that we're anticipating. So we get all the public safety entities together, we get roads and drainage, we get sanitation together. We make sure that we've got chainsaw crews who are prepared to go out at night, and then sanitation crews to go up once the trees are cut down and move them out of the roadway so that our public safety crews can get to the calls they need to get to. So we're doing that overnight while we're preparing. So everybody's ready to go once the storm hits. Once the storm hits, we already have chains, we're ready to go. We can get out and about and move and get everything taken care of that we need. If we need to rescue people from their homes because there's a tree that's fallen on their house, we can get there, we can get them out, and we can get them to the hospital. Roads and drainage is taking care of pre-treating the roads to try and get ahead of the ice so that we're not behind. And the 911 center is putting up extra operators because we're expecting a very large call volume once this starts to hit. Any other questions?
How comfortable do you feel talking about preparations for shelters specifically?
We have been in touch with the Red Cross and the Board of Health to have our shelter preparations ready should we need them. We have trailers with cots, go bags, and we have blankets so that if we have to set up a shelter, that we are prepared. all our rec centers and high schools in the county have already been surveyed by the Red Cross as well as the Board of Health to be ADA compliant, and so we're ready to go. The reason we don't name shelters beforehand is because if there's a power outage and I've named a shelter, everybody's going to think to go to that shelter when that's not the shelter that's open. So we want to wait till we need the shelter to be able to open it, and then we'll help everybody get to that shelter.